An in-depth look at the ambitious plan in New York State to transition school buses away from diesel and to electric. We've shared the worries from some school district leaders and Republican lawmakers about the cost and the practicality. Well, tonight we're taking those concerns directly to the state. First, though, here are the two benchmarks to pay attention to. By 2027, all new school buses sold in this state must be zero emission. And then by the year 2035, the entire fleet must be electric school buses. Joining me now is Adam Reuter. He is NYSERDA's Director of Clean Transportation. Adam, we appreciate you taking the time here. There's been a lot of discussion about this. I mentioned there the mandate to be at 100% zero-emission electric school buses by the year 2035. How are we doing at approaching that goal? I know maybe it seems like a long way out, but I'm sure it'll be here before we know it.
Thanks, Michael, for having me. We are making a great amount of progress. Just a few years ago, there were no electric buses on the road in New York State. There are over 60 today. There are 500 plus in the pipeline. And we are really pleased that a lot of school districts are really taking the first step. And whenever there's a long-term goal, you really need to focus on what do you do first and what the process is to get there. So we are working very closely with over 200 school districts in the state to get started with fleet electrification plans to figure out how they're going to bring these electric school buses into their fleets. And many of those are now going on to the process of purchasing the buses. And we're really encouraging schools to get started with one or two buses now, figure out how they work with their particular terrain and their climate and their routes, and then move on from there. So first off, I think we're seeing a lot of good interest and good first steps.
So earlier this year, some lawmakers had an event. They called it Pump the Brakes, asking that the requirement be delayed. And they pointed to the cost of them, that a full-size electric bus is about $400,000 to $450,000 and triple the price of a conventional bus. Are those numbers accurate in terms of how you understand it? And talk to me about that sort of financial worry that a lot of school districts have.
So yes, electric school buses are more expensive than diesel buses today. But New York State has set aside $500 million to help bring down the cost. So NYSERDA has a program right now that can help cover the entire difference between the cost between a diesel bus and an electric bus. That's funded with the Environmental Bond Act funds. And we're seeing many school districts, dozens of school districts have already applied for this money. There's more out there, and we're encouraging all school districts across the state to take advantage of that. In addition, there's money from the U.S. EPA. There's money from the federal government through tax credits that are actually accessible to school districts as well. There's money through the utilities, and there's money from state education department for transportation aid. So when you look at all of that, it's often the case that electric school buses are less expensive to schools right now than diesel buses.
Are you able to say to school districts who are planning years out, obviously $500 million won't cover the total cost of changing over every single school bus in the state. Do you anticipate there will be more funding sources out there to help them with this cost years out?
It's hard to say, but we do expect this money to help cover the cost of thousands of buses in the state. And the good thing is that we do expect the price of these buses to come down over time and reach closer to parity with diesel buses. You look at the total cost of ownership of the buses, and the cost to run an electric bus is lower than the cost of running a diesel bus on a day-to-day basis because it has lower maintenance costs and electricity is less expensive than diesel. So the operating costs are actually quite a bit lower, and battery prices continue to come down, and the production of these buses continues to ramp up, and we're seeing the production costs come down with economies of scale. So over time, and we think over the next few years, we're going to see these buses reach the parity with diesel buses, especially from a total cost of ownership perspective.
You talked about the cost of the batteries there. I want to ask you about the technology itself and the functionality of the batteries. You hear from a lot of people, here in Western New York where we get some pretty severe winter weather, how the buses do in the cold, right? We know electric vehicles don't have quite the range in cold weather as they do in warmer weather. Some school districts have had these buses for a little while. What have you heard sort of on the front lines of this into how well these electric buses are working?
So electric buses do have a shorter range in the winter, as do diesel buses for that matter. But we've seen good success. The good thing is that most electric buses have a range of 100 to 200 miles right now. And most school bus routes, even in rural areas, tend to be about 70 or 80 miles per day. So most buses, most electric buses can cover pretty much any school bus route that we're seeing. And especially if you consider that they can also usually charge a little bit during the day as well. So we're seeing good success. There are hundreds of electric buses on the road in Quebec, which is just as cold, if not colder, than parts of upstate New York and Western New York. And we're hearing good success stories from out west in Montana and North Dakota as well. The nice thing about an electric bus we're hearing from a number of folks is that even on the coldest days, it will start. And there are many diesel buses that have trouble starting on cold days. So there are trade-offs, as with anything, but the technology continues to get better. Batteries continue to get less expensive, and we expect to see longer range electric buses over the coming years too. So what we encourage schools to do is to start off by electrifying the shortest and easiest to electrify routes, get some experience with the electric buses, and then over time, over the course of the next 11 years, you'll have a better sense of how they operate, and the technology will be getting better. So you'll have buses that can cover some of the harder to electrify routes.
Finally, Adam, is the industry there, or will it be there for us to be able to meet these goals? 2027 for all new school buses being electric, and then 2035 to be completely 100%. Will the market get there?
We're seeing a big ramp up in production among the major bus manufacturers. And frankly, New York's push to electrify buses is one of the big reasons for that. There's a big market coming from the federal funding as well as New York's funding, and we're seeing school bus manufacturers ramp up pretty dramatically.
Adam Reuter is NYSERDA's Director of Clean Transportation. Adam, thank you for your time and talking us through this.
My pleasure.